actually a comment from Jeremy's earlier presentation about the social needs being the ones. These are kids from broken homes, kids already in the day school where dad's got to jail or shot through or something. They're the ones we're funding. But the ones who say, look, we only earn $85,000 a year, you know, one income, etc. Can we please go? I'm sorry. That's not the ones who we're helping out.
Peter, could you just briefly talk about the quality issue, like, you know, Jewish studies and so on, and the research that's being sponsored or not sponsored in that area?
Well, I mean, JCA helps with Andrew with Gen 08, you know, and all of this sort of work we're definitely doing stuff on. Just to give you a bit of perspective, we have as part of JCA, we have a planning group, which is 2 full-time people, and they're looking at a lot of aspects of the community, including those sort of areas. We're doing quite a bit of research. We've got a group now looking specifically at education. One of the things that was put forward by my predecessor, David Balkan, was the 10 questions that any kid leaving a Jewish day school should be able to answer. It wasn't prescriptive, but amongst those questions or issues were things like being able to conduct a Seder, being able to answer intelligently questions on Palestine, Israel, Israel's position, being able to say there's 3 prominent Jews, you know, and not just the usual ones, but, you know, just a whole lot of different things, because there's a major concern. The kids were coming out without that broad depth of Jewish knowledge. We're also doing a lot more stuff now to prepare kids for advocacy work when they get into uni, work with August and all this. Big issues, big questions. Sorry, have I hijacked enough?
No, please. We've not got much time, so I think we'll just go around and people can make a little comment. Is that all right? So starting here, just make...
Andrew, am I correct that in the Gen 08 continuity report, you listed about 8 different factors for Jewish continuity, and found that Jewish school education had the least impact of any of them? Is that correct?
Not quite the least impact, but I at the beginning I also went over that, and particularly like the multivariate analysis that David Graham undertook and so on. And it's certainly, you can't show that it has a major impact, no, on Jewish identity. Yeah. Yes?
I just ask, coupled with the 10 questions that the Jewish kids should be able to answer about Judaism and Israel, etc., should we not consider thinking about 10 questions and any Jewish kid graduating from school should be able to answer about life outside the bubble? 10 plus 10.
Look, there's, as I said, there's nothing being set down, but it's just an interesting point that was put, that we should have these sort of benchmarks that the kids, and this is not an exam that they should be able to answer, you know, and be tested for. They should have that broad knowledge to be able to face these issues.
You're talking about NAPLAN for Jews.
Susie, the concern is that NAPLAN is that people will actually study for the NAPLAN, not necessarily study for the broad knowledge.
Never.
Thank you.
Before the research that we did, I was a shaliach 11 years ago in Melbourne.
Yes.
And for my study, I did also research with some kids from Scotland, in Biali.
Yes.
But the influence of the Jewish day school compared to youth movement and parents. And the answer was shine and bright, as we said, parents, youth group, and then eventually the really minor will be the Jewish day school. It doesn't matter if it was Yapne or Skopus or Biali, and it was also King David, sorry. But what I saw in it was 50 questions from Jewish identity, Israel identity, Shabbat, Chagim, kosher, all these questions to know exactly who they are, the background and everything. If it's not informal education, they will not be there. If it's not through the informal education through activities to having fun, that was these two. For example, when I was asked what would be the best Jewish day school in Melbourne, it would be the Chabad, or it would be the King David, that knew how to give Judaism in an informal way, and the knowledge of the kids there on Chagim, on religion stuff, on everything, would be much higher than other schools. That's 11 years ago.
Seems to be similar. Thank you. Young lady behind you, yes?
You're saying about like the rise of Jewish kids going to non-Jewish schools, and I worked with BJ for about 5 years running all their high school programs, and there's about just under 50% of all the kids in Sydney going to non-Jewish schools, And these schools, like Rose Bay, you get per term, you get about 2 or 3 hours maximum, absolute maximum access to those kids in that time. And outside of that, you either have to go at lunchtime or you're doing things outside of school. And it's in conflict almost with the Jewish youth groups. And these youth movements are creating so much positivity. Like, I can't imagine, like, so many kids coming out of the youth movements are coming out with such strong identity, and it's young people running things for young people. So why is there more money being directed?
Let me answer that. Exactly that. Let me answer that. A woman by the name of Millie Phillips put down $4 million into the community for Jewish education. I'm one of the trustees of her fund, and we now, and this has been going about a year and a half, we started last year directing about $50,000 a year to the Jewish youth groups, either for Israel programs, local activities. There's also more money for local camps. As the JCA, we never could, I don't want to say get a leg in, we never could get close to the Jewish youth groups because the Zionist control of them, and I'm not knocking that for what it is, basically said, this is a Zionist territory, keep out.
But they don't fund us.
Sorry, can I,
But they don't
just,
fund us.
just,
They're not giving us money.
just listen for a moment. So, it's amazing that when we went along and we said, we have $50,000, would you like to have it and use it for this? They said yes. And we now have a great relationship has developed between ZFA, State Zionist Council, JCA. We're looking at a whole lot more funding going into it because we now, this stupid barrier that was created has gone because the Zionist youth groups basically, as great as they are under-resourced and underfunded. It's as simple as that. Now, as well as the youth groups, as were mentioned, it's the Israel experience, which is the other great determinant of Jewish continuity. And some people, and I don't believe that the 10-day trip to Israel holiday makes a difference, but the 6-week minimum to 6-month or 1-year experiences are great. And we're also now, again, through Millie's fund, funding some of that, and there's some other, quite a few initiatives. BJE has got a great VIV program, a lot of these. We know they're expensive, but these are the things where we're really keen to fund. And we're trying to get, in blunt words, more money from the community and from donors to fund these things specifically. So, yes, I'm a great supporter of Zionist youth groups as well. If we can get the money in there, we've already got a structure for the kids that they enjoy. Beautiful. Why not build on it?
Well, we just ran out of time, but if there's a couple of people feel like they've got some point they want to get on the record. Have you got one? No?
Yeah, well,
Yes, please.
I'd like to correct the record. Peter, I was on the Zionist Federation for 10 years, and I would have to disagree with your statement that it was the Zionist movement that stopped money coming from the JCA, because I know for a fact that Ron Weiser over and over appealed to the JCA to support the youth movements. And there was something in the JCA that stopped that happening. But it certainly wasn't the Zionist Federation refusing to take money to support the youth movements.
All right. And one last comment.
Just to explain on a financial level, Victoria works very differently to New South Wales, that there are no central funds provided to schools, and my understanding is New South Wales, in order to receive the funds, you're not allowed to give discounts to students beyond a certain amount. But in Victoria, we won't turn away, and I certainly can speak for the foremost mainstream schools, we will not turn away a child based on financial assistance. And our financial assistance will range from 5% to 95%. So if people want to come to a Jewish day school and they're prepared to accept financial assistance, we will fund a space for them.
Can I just answer that? JCA does not...
Sorry, question on percentage. I can speak from our scopers and BI, we're both on between 22 and 25% of our students receiving separate to bursaries and scholarships, receiving means-tested financial assistance in our schools, and that's a huge issue.
Well, to give you an idea, in Sydney, KTC is running 50% of the kids on fee assistance, Masada 37%, Sinai's in the mid-20s, Mariah's low, you might remember offhand, Les, Mariah's under 20.
Under 20, I think it's about 14.
Yeah, 14, 13, 14, Emmanuel probably around low 20s.
Family incomes of $80,000 in Victoria, they can send their children with their shoes to the Jewish day schools.
Right, we're going to stop it there. But thank you, everybody, so much. If